Hi, guys. Welcome to the SU Pod.
The podcast where we put you back in community. My name's Emily.
And my name is Evie, and we are here for our 29th episode, our last episode of the first season, and our final episode before the new year.
That's so crazy. We're uploading this New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Guys! Oh my god. Hi.
Ooh.
Happy New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year. Happy 2024. If you're listening to this
Guys, we're
on
in
the first.
2024.
We're in the future.
We're literally in the future. I was thinking the other day, I was looking at photos, people on Instagram, I don't know, I was looking at Zoe Laverne. Sorry. You guys know Zoe Laverne? I am the queen of TikTok. That's Zoe Laverne. First of all, she had a freaking kid, which is crazy. And also, I was just looking at her old photos when she was dating guys, TikTok lore, Musically lore. She used to date this Cody guy, and they were the it couple of Musically. That was them. And they broke up. But then I was looking at photos when they were together, and it's just isn't it crazy? We just accepted photography as something that exists and we moved on. That's actually us in a moment. That happened. That is a moment in time, and it's just not there anymore. It's just a photo. That's all that exists of that moment. Isn't that crazy? That's why we say live in the moment, because it literally passes by. Right now, 2 seconds ago, we'll never get it back. We'll never have it back again. So.
Never.
That's why I take pictures of everything and live in the moment. And that's funny.
I forgot why you said that.
Guys, I'm so unmedicated. Oh my god. I'm so annoying. Guys, anyways, the point of that was it's New Year's, and what the heck? Time has flown. You guys remember 2023? You guys, where were you? Where were you? January 6th.
Where was I? February 6th.
No, January 6th. Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? Okay, fine. Then where were you New Year's?
New Year's last year?
Yeah.
I was at my friend's house, and then I came home. And then I took a video. I was really watching this video today, because every year I record a video of myself saying what I did for the year and what I hope for the next one. Every year for the past 3 years. Crazy, right?
That's so
and
crazy.
So I was watching the video, and I was like, Elise, this is what you did. You did poetry. You got closer with your friends, and next year I hope that you do this, this, and that. And I was like, wow. I did some of those things. But that's what I was doing. I was home. What were you doing?
I was in Puerto Rico, which is crazy. That has been a year. It's been a freaking year. I remember I was in Puerto Rico. I can't even share this information. It's classified. It's post podcast. But
you were in Puerto Rico, yes.
I was talking to different people, friendships, guys. I was in my uncle's apartment. I was in a different headspace. I had a different heart then. Everything was different. I will say I'm skinnier now, so I ate that. Hey, a win's a win.
A win is a win. A win is a win.
And also, oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. But, okay, so I saw this video where it's in the new year, you have to write one good thing that happened for every week. And at the end of the year, you have 52 or more little papers, so you remember all the things you did during the year. So we're gonna start that. Yeah.
Okay. I've done it before. I can't wait to do it again.
Really?
I love that. Yeah. Years ago in a little jar. But it's such a good thing to do. I forgot so many things. Even today when I was trying to make my Instagram recap of the reel of the year, I was like, wow, I forgot that I went to this place or I met up with this person. It's just crazy how, well, I go out way too often, but it's just so crazy how many things we do weekly or monthly and how time catches up. But This episode's all about that. It's about starting over the new year, and I don't know. I feel like I've seen a lot of people post and say, "Oh, my resolution is to not have one," like because I want to just have those minds.
Right.
They
You want to
don't
do
want to
something
wait,
different.
and that's fine. That's so fine. But like, let's be for real. Don't kill someone's
Yeah.
joy. If you feel like this is your season to start over
Exactly.
because it's a new month, it's like it's a new era, it's a new year for you, then do it. Like, do whatever you want to do. Um. So yeah, we're just gonna be talking about that and starting over. And we've had this topic on our minds for a bit, but we wanted to wait for the new year because it made sense with everything
Yeah.
that's happened in our lives. I think personally too. Like, I don't know. I'm like nervous because starting over is not just
Aw.
like starting over, not just like how to explain, not just like with what the season has been, but what we want to see and what we want to improve on and we want to let go of. So I'll start off with the first question for you, Miss Emily,
Yeah.
of
What do you
like
got?
what we mentioned of the stigma of why restarting feels like giving up sometimes. Or do you feel like it feels like giving up?
Honestly, yeah. Like, because I'm not a quitter, guys. My mom doesn't raise a quitter.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I could be in the worst possible situation, which currently, I might add. I was literally telling Evie literally earlier, like 5 minutes ago,
Mm.
the moment that I leave this town, the moment that I leave Florida, the moment that I leave the Florida, Georgia, what is that? With the band, Florida Georgia line? The moment I leave this
Yeah.
town, I'm gonna become Tenemoja. I'm gonna spill everything. Literally,
Oof, I
find me on
can't
the
wait.
yeah, like the Trisha Paytas videos. She's crying in the
I
in the kitchen.
love
Yeah,
I
she's a
love
stan,
Trisha.
guys. Yeah, I need to get back on that train, but it's like I'm in this like very positivity era, and I don't know. I feel like
No, Trish is
she'll
not
pull me
problematic
back
anymore.
anymore.
Just
Yeah,
Trish era, Just Trish podcast. Sorry, a shameless plug. The Just Trish podcast is very entertaining. She has great guests. Shotty Bay was on there. She has Shotty Bay. If you know how that is on TikTok, it's amazing. She's amazing. Ice
I don't know what
Spice
it is.
might be on the podcast.
You
Ice Spice
might
said
for real.
yes after her
Our
album.
podcast.
Yes. Just
Imagine we're
Trish.
converting her. We're
Guys,
converting her.
a goal is to like get on other people's podcasts. But
Yeah,
like, let's continue with
yeah.
Emily's struggle
Oh,
right now and what's happening. Sorry, I like changed subject real
I
quick.
forgot. No, okay. Basically, it was just like, oh yeah. So like, I'll detail everything. But right now, I can't say
Yes.
anything because I didn't. I signed an NDA.
Right, right. The
That's
debrief
okay.
isn't
Guys,
coming yet.
I've been saying that, and people actually believe me. Like, if you just don't want to talk about something, just say, "Oh, sorry, I signed an NDA." But like, it could be for real, but also be a joke. Like, it's like the perfect line. Like, if
It
my friends
is.
ask me about something that it's just like either embarrassing or like I just don't want to talk about, it's just like, "Oh, sorry, like I signed an NDA," and like, haha, that's funny. And the conversation ends because it worked. Because like either they don't know what an NDA is and they want to act stupid, or it's just haha, I'm just a funny person that doesn't want to talk about it, or it's not that serious.
Right.
It's perfect. Just say no. But that's why, like, I'm literally in a situation where it's like I know that it's not good for me. Not that it's not good for me. Is it eating me up inside? Yes. Do I come home crying every night? Yes.
Mm.
Do I feel like a failure in all possible ways? Yes. Am I going to quit? Obviously not.
Yeah.
One, because I'm just not a quitter and I hate this, like, I guess starting over in a sense just has this stigma of like all the progress that I've made is
Hmm.
erased. And I feel
Yeah.
like it's not. Like it really is like it's not, but you do feel that way. Like the video of the guy, everyone has seen it, but the guy who's like does this like art installation, um, where it's just like he's walking up the stairs and he falls down on a trampoline and he gets back up and he walks up the stairs, falls back down on a
Uh-huh.
trampoline and he gets back up. Like that.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what it feels like. And then the point where he literally starts going backwards, like that's really what it feels like. Cuz like starting over
Well,
is not just like automatically starting back on square one. Like starting over means going back every single step and that's excruciating.
right.
Like you're not just like really going back to, I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes you can just, restart, go back to the way things were, but like you're gonna have to take back everything you said, everything you did, all the effort, the energy, everything. And I think that's why it kind of feels more excruciating to just like go backwards. But I feel like when we think of restarting, we think of almost like a stripping away, and almost
Yeah.
just a downward hill instead of like a circle. Like, though we're restarting, we're still moving. And I feel like we're still moving in the same direction, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, a circle goes one way. Like, though it might seem that we're going back the way we're going, we're still going forward, if that makes sense. I wish you guys could see a visual drawing, but budget
No, that
cuts.
makes sense. That makes sense. But I was gonna say too, like when you mentioned that, it was just like it feels like to me, like it feels like giving up because you're letting go of what could have been.
Yeah.
And I think this year with starting over sucks. Like I'm
Yeah.
like even today I was looking at when I was looking at memories and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, starting over is hard. And it's very hard
Yeah.
for me to start over and things because I when I'm in something, I think of all the ways that it could go and like I think about it in like a trajectory of like maybe like the next 5 years or like how it looks in my life forever. Like I don't ever see things
Yeah.
ending. So like
Yeah.
for example, like this podcast, like I don't want it to end. So if you told me that it was gonna end, I would be like, oh my God, there's so many hopes, but we're supposed to do this and we're supposed to do this.
Yeah.
And that's not happening anytime soon. But
Exactly.
one of my things for that this year was like our church transition and giving up an idea that I would be in a place for a long time with the same people and just have these ideas in my head and these prayers and all these beautiful things that they not that they weren't of God. It just wasn't the move at the time or now. And so it feels like letting go of like a past life, like
Yeah.
letting go of like dreams, like you're letting go of dreams that's
Yeah.
scary. And so it feels like you're giving up on what could have been. And I think one of my concerns when starting over in that situation particularly, not to get into too much detail of the tea, but it was just like
The NDA talk. Yeah.
there's so much more, but there's so much more,
Yeah.
like but there's so much more, like how can we give up, like what do you mean, like and it wasn't into getting not to get into detail but to get into detail because I'm gonna be honest, like this is life, this is our podcast, like we talk about our
Yeah.
lives and our feelings, we're being honest. um it feels like letting go, like it feels like you're giving up on people. It felt like people were giving up on what my idea of a healthy place and shelter looked like, but little did I know God had a bigger plan. And so sometimes
Yeah.
restarting can feel like rebranding and stripping and all these crazy things. But little do we know, like God always has a plan. And
Yeah.
so sometimes restarting, it's not like it's not giving up entirely. It's just giving up like maybe your comfort zone. Maybe, maybe it's just that.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's hard. And yeah, that was my yeah, letting go of what could have been, but just I guess the takeaway for me in that situation, just like God knows what He's doing.
That's why. And I think like it also ties into this like we're people that don't like letting go of stuff. Like good
Yeah,
or bad, we're sticking through it. Because I think it's a sense of like loyalty also like to the process, loyalty to um the idea, the mission, the the goal. And I think when it's not achieved in the way that we signed up for, almost
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
whoa, like what am I getting myself into? Like what happened? Like who ruined it? Like who did this? And it's like it ties into this like we of course we get into stuff that we can control, or we get into stuff that we see like, oh, nothing wrong can happen. But like, when it comes to church, school, friendships, all of it is things that obviously to make it fruitful, God has to be in the middle, but also God has to have the control. So when God
Yeah.
doesn't, or when we don't have the control and God does, it's like, well, like if he starts me over, like I have nothing. Like I literally
Yeah.
have nothing, and it's just it sucks. And I think it's one of the things that keeps us from starting over. But do you think there's other things that you feel keep you from starting over, whether it's friends, family, ideas, like more in depth?
Yeah. Yeah. Try not to relate too much to the current situation because I don't want to like get tell everything, but I do at the same time. I
The
don't care.
current
It's the
trauma
last
situation, yeah.
episode of the year.
Yeah.
Might as well go off
It's
with a
okay.
bang.
You're okay with it.
No, I think some things that can like you said prevent us from like starting over, right?
Yeah.
Or
Like what
like
can like make us feel like we can, or just things that could like conflict you from starting over,
yeah,
or just like
sometimes yeah, sometimes it's mentally like I think, oh, I can't do this again. Like when you go through a trauma, which this is a whole other episode. I can't wait to get into next
yeah.
year a whole debrief of
Ooh, next season
next season is gonna be crazy.
is going
But like when
crazy.
you go through similar situations, it's like, oh my god, to do this again, there's no way. I remember calling Emily and
Yeah.
be like, "There's no way I can do this again. There's
Yeah.
no way I can go through
Yeah.
this again." And that mindset alone can put us into this vulnerable position when we're in the starting over process. That every little thing is something bad. Not that it's not
Yeah.
not that things are always perfect because they're not, but you can be like on high alert. You can be like on your toes because of your
Yes.
past,
Paranoid.
like trauma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I think when starting over like when the process is occurring, it feels so difficult because you have this mindset, you have this something on you like that you're like, oh my god, I can't do this again. Like no way. Like you already
Yeah.
have this antsiness
Yeah.
about it, anxiety about it. And then another thing could be too, like the people, literally the people that you have around you. I think sometimes if you have people that are like encouraging you to start over, it could be good. Like it's
Yeah.
great that can remind you and be there for you. But sometimes it just depends because there's people that they might be, I don't know, not like in a mean way. They might just be telling you to start over because they're tired of seeing you sad, or they genuinely care about you and like, oh, I want you to start over because I care about you and I want to help you. So it just depends. Like some of those things can be blockades or they could be like the pathway that you need.
Yeah.
But definitely kind of like the mindset. But what about for you personally? Like what has been your conflicting, maybe not your conflict, but whatever way you would see that as when you're starting over that it's kind of harder to do.
Yeah. Honestly, like I kind of mentioned, I've told this before, and I've been really open about this more with my family recently, just because it's like I've always denied it, but like um I've been a very outspoken person, not because I want to be, but because that's what people told me to be. I literally went on a whole rant on my close friends. Girl,
Yeah.
girl, girl. I
I
was
loved
like,
it though.
no, because it's like, and then Sophie Cruz music, shout out.
Shout out to Sophie.
I love Sophie. Um, she was like, "Oh, like you need to do a spoken word about this." I'm like, "Girl, don't even.
Oof.
You got me. You got me good.
Yeah, that
She
sounded
got
like a
me
whole spoken
good.
word. I was gonna tell you.
Yeah,
I sounded like a whole
I got you.
poem.
I got you. I'm gonna write it. But it's
All
so
right,
funny
thank you.
because the girls, I literally added the girls I'm talking about on my close friends. Let me shut up. They're not gonna see this. They're not gonna see this. Real. This is gonna be on the real. The
Okay.
girls that I was talking about I added them to my close friends, and it's just like,
The thumbnail. The girls that I'm talking about are in listening to this podcast that I put on
yeah,
my close friends. It's
yeah.
about you.
I put on my close friends the story that I put on my close friends about how you guys are fake and how women treat
Yeah,
women
yeah,
badly
yeah.
when they want male attention, which that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, so this is gonna be the thumbnail. Okay, ready? Okay. The girls who made me feel like crap when I was going through a low moment are all my close friends, and I was talking about you. Uh, yeah, and I think I've been talking about this a lot. Like, I literally want to be liked so bad. I want to
Yeah.
be the highest achiever. I want to be noted. I want to be looked after. I want to be wanted. I want to be the top shelf prize. And I think when I talk about like starting over, or just like the thought of quitting, or the start of, the thought of going back to the beginning scares me so much, because it feels like surrender. It feels like, oh, I'm caving
Ugh.
into what others think. I'm the
Yeah.
lowest now. And I not just perception, but it's more like, I don't care what people think of me as long as they think I'm better than them. And it's actually
Oof.
so toxic, and it sucks. But it's also like, wait, I just realized like I added I just realized that I said that on national television. Oh, it's okay. Whatever. I don't care.
She's on
But
national television
it's true.
before.
Like, it like, guys, like, I went through a moment recently. I'm not gonna get into detail, even though I literally exposed myself so bad.
Yeah, girl.
But there's moments in life where you find yourself in a situation that you're looking for women to come and defend you, because men suck, men are mean, and women don't come to your defense because they want those men to like them.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how everyone goes through that. No matter how much you want these certain guys to like you, they will treat you the same way as soon as they don't see you as attractive, or they don't see you as, you're an opportunity, you know?
Right.
And I feel like starting over for me in the specific situations that I've been in and I'm currently in is falling back and surrendering. And I'd literally rather trip myself over and like hurt myself and like
Mm-hmm.
just feel terrible about myself every single day than ever cave in. But it's also this sweetness in surrender. And I think every time I think about not putting on a mask every day, and not caring about what people think, and not trying so hard to get the value of people's attention, I feel so much peace.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm most scared of in starting over is that I'll like it.
Ooh.
And I'll be okay with not being the best, because it feels like everything I've done up to this point means nothing. And it's
Wow.
almost this like comfort in the chaos. Like, we get
Yeah.
attached to our suffering. And I
Uh-huh.
think I've just been for so long. For so long, I didn't even realize it. It took me 18 years to realize what kind of, like, I'm such a people pleaser. And so to stop at this point, it's great because I don't have to go in my 20s feeling sucky, especially when I'm around adults who act even worse. But it's just like, wow, like, I just spent so much time and energy into this, and now it's
Right.
just like over. Like, it's not
Mm.
just starting over in my process, starting over in my pain. Like, I
Yeah.
have to forgive and forget. Like, that
Yeah.
sucks. And so I think that's really what scares me in starting over, and it just it hurts my heart, and I think that's just, I don't know. I don't know. Write it in
No,
my
but
book.
that's
I don't know.
but that's so valid, and I think that's also the to forward and to touch at the same time the stigma that we want to break. I know that I want to break, at least, is that it's easy, and because it's not, like, it's really hard. And it could be like a new year, and it seems like, okay, like, this is easy to start over, and it's easy to, like, let's just do it. But no one talks about, like, that process, and how that process is going to break us, how it's going to mold us, how it's going to shape us. Everyone just looks at the end result. No one is being authentic and real, just about how hard starting over is. um and there's been so many moments where we've had to start over, whether that's in friendships, whether that's in relationships, um, or new settings and places and moving, like all of those things. Like, it's not easy. And so I know that for me, at least, the stigma that I want to break is really that starting over is simple, because it's not. Mentally, it's not as easy. Physically, it could seem easy. Maybe things are just a drive away, or maybe it's just another process to take on, or an extra step. But those things are hard. And I don't know. That's just a stigma that I want to break with starting over and restarting.
Yeah. I like that. And it's also like, when we talk about the word stigma, I think it's just like, I think it's something that follows you. Like, I think we're scared that it, like,
Yeah.
starting over, it's like it's gonna follow us. Like, whenever people see us or think about us or talk about us, it's gonna be like, um Oh, she tried and she failed. Like, even though you're progressing, even though every single day is a step forward, they're always going to see you as that. And honestly, like,
Yeah.
we just, as a society, even if you're in a season of your high, like, even if you're in a season where you're just going upwards, please remember to speak kindly to people. Like, people
Yeah.
are going through a moment where they genuinely feel like they failed at everything in their life. Like, please be so kind when you reference people or you talk about them starting over, or like, guys, you know how, again, divorce rates in America? Exactly. Just let me
Mm.
just say that sentence. Divorce rates in America, like, when I think about, when I watch videos of like women who, who stay with partners after they cheat, men and women, who, just they're in a toxic relationship, they're in a relationship where neither party puts an effort, and it's just this like, why do you stay with them? But it's honestly
Yeah.
like, why would I start over? And
Yep.
it's so crazy because it's like you have, people who divorce in their like late years. I saw a video of this woman who divorced in her late years, and she was just like, I feel so happy, but I just feel so sad because it took me this long to realize that I don't have to stay with a man just for comfort. And I was like, oh my gosh, like she
Yeah.
ate me up. 'Cause it's like, again, a fear of mine, getting married and just married to a person that I didn't know, and just like having to start over,
Yeah.
because it's
Exactly.
like, just the thought of going through something so intimate, and
Yeah.
finding your person and finding that one who's supposed to last you through your lifetime, that person you're supposed to watch your grandkids with, and they turn out
Right.
to be this complete monster, this complete different person, like, and having to start over, especially like years later, like you already have kids, you have a house, you have a joint bank account, like you've set up so much together, and having to leave and start over, like I can't, like, shout out to single mothers, shout out
Right.
to
Shut up.
divorcees, like the actual thought of doing that, you're
It's
so
hard.
brave.
That sounds hard. Yeah.
Single dads and single moms are so brave, like, oh my gosh. And it just, it sucks, and it's honestly like, yeah, it's crazy. But honestly, I feel like we just need to be kinder as a society, kinder to people
Yeah.
who go through a process, and like, it's my big thing, guys. I'm an overachiever. To think that one day people will see me and say I tried and I failed, it's actually like, it makes my eye twitch. It makes my skin crawl. Don't even. So yeah.
That's
Anyways,
valid. No, everything you said is good. Everything you said is good, and it's so true, and it's hard, and it follows it, like you said, it follows you. But at the same time, like the beauty in just starting over. Every process looks different. You change and within that process, so you're not going to be the same at the end of each process. Every time you start over, you change, you transform. Just like you said, last year I was such a different person. I was in a different mindset. I was in a different place. And then now, looking at where you are now, looking at the
yeah.
mindset you have now, it's nothing compared to the person that you were. Not that the person was bad, but
Yeah.
you evolved and you changed.
And
And
that's so special, because like,
right,
even in the starting over, you're like, give yourself so much grace, cuz looking back, do you think you would have done half the things you did like last year? Like,
yeah,
I would have never even thought I joined the basketball team. I would have never thought I did an internship at
yeah,
church. I would have never thought that I survived moving to Puerto Rico. Like,
I
last year I felt
know.
like my life was ending, and now it's just like I miss those days. Like, I miss
Well,
being with my family. I miss being on my island. I miss feeling connected to my people. I miss the sunshine. I miss just being there. And it's just like, it did feel like starting over, but I was just starting new. I was just being reborn, and
yeah.
it's like, give yourself so much grace, because like, even though it feels like you're failing, like, do you genuinely believe, like, be honest, do you genuinely believe that you would have done half the things that you did this year? Like, you
Nope.
last year? Like, obviously, like, no, like, you're a different person, like, you're growing and you're evolving. Like,
Right.
people need to be kind to other people, but like, also be just kind to yourself. Give yourself
Yeah.
grace. Like, you deserve grace. Like, don't feel like, and this is like the advice portion of the night, like,
Yeah.
just like, if I could give advice to anyone who's just feeling down or feeling like they they failed, like life is too short for regrets. And I think
Yeah.
every single moment is a teaching moment. And that's one thing I've always said. Like, I don't want to live my life feeling like embarrassed. Like, I hate people who, not I hate people, but like people who look back and be like, oh, like I hate that area of me, or like she was so annoying, or like she was just this. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can never look back at myself and hate myself. Like, that's so tragic. Like, to look back and hate a version of me, like, no, like she went through stuff. Like, she grew, she
Yeah.
was developing. Like, give yourself grace, guys. All right. Yeah, that's it. So as we enter the new year, as we as we enter the new
Yes.
year, um, what are some things, some expectations you have for this new season, and some words of advice you could give yourself and others about this new year, about maybe people who are starting over, maybe people who have new goals that they're about to bark on a new journey. Embark, not bark. Yeah.
Woof. uh, Bark at a new journey. Okay,
Real.
yes. So at least for myself, some goals that I have is to not be a people pleaser in every situation. I think I'm overbooked myself this past year, but in the most beautiful ways. And I just need to
Oh
give
yeah.
myself a lot of time and grace for myself for what my needs, even if it's simple needs like taking a break a day or two to relax. I want to do that
Mm.
more. And um, for I at least I can say in other ways, like I want to really be in touch more with my writing, like be like lock in.
Yeah, we're
And
locking
just with
in.
some
Yep.
goals that I have with that, we're locking in this year with that for sure.
Yeah.
Taking it to
Funny
another level
poems
at
and all my
least.
love Athena will be revived. They're coming back.
Yes, they're in revival right now. So in Jesus'
Aw.
name. And that's really my
Amen.
goals. And any advice I would have would be literally like Emily said, give yourself grace, lock in, but also take account and be like write down the highs, or it could be like, hey, this happened, but I blank blank. Like, wow, I struggled with this month, but I overcame it by, or when I spoke to such and such person. Like, there's just so many things that happen to us, and we don't even realize how much we go through and how much help we have around us. It's just so important to just take note of like the highs, the lows as well. As much as we talk about the lows, like the highs as well, and there's the great things that happen. But what would be your advice, and what are some of your expectations for this new year?
Honestly, okay, my expectations for this new year is just one, I know it's gonna be college season. College
Mm-hmm.
season's gonna whoop my behind. I'm gonna cry so much this year. I already know. I already know. I'm gonna cry so much this year. I'm gonna, like, things that I've been planning practically my whole life for is gonna come up this year. So this is so perfect that we're talking about starting over, because it's like giving myself grace and being able to be
Yeah.
okay with not achieving those goals, because there's always something better. And just having peace now, like, obviously believe in stuff. This is not saying like don't believe,
Right.
like, just always have a backup plan, like, because it's not gonna work. Like, no. But like, have your dreams and goals, but also understand that God's dreams and goals for your life are so much bigger, and
Right.
trust that He knows what He's doing. And like, I like, it's so funny because every time that, it's, just hilarious Christian humor, I guess. But it's just like, God will literally always know. Like, and it's, we continue to think that we know more, and He keeps
Yeah.
proving us wrong. Like, it's this repetitive cycle. But yeah, that's like just some of my goals and expectations, and I guess just like, yeah, uh, we're gonna do the little thing where we say something good about every week, and I encourage you guys to do the same, because I
Yeah.
think it's a great reminder that no matter what, you can always find something good in your process, and it'll honestly like help you be more grateful. It will help you with your gratefulness, like, because we're alive, we're breathing, we're moving, we're somewhat healthy. I don't know if anyone was at
Yeah.
peak health, but we we don't have a lot of money, but we got at least for a
Something.
gumball at the gumball machine at Walgreens. Hey, I someone's got
We
a
have
quarter.
enough.
Hey, yeah, there you go. So
Yeah,
yeah,
literally.
and just understand that we're human and we're gonna work through this life together. And I think that's why the SU pod has just been so important to many people and us, because it's just showing us like we're people, we're growing, we're moving, we're exploring, we're trying new things, and no
Yeah.
one should ever make you feel bad for that. No one should ever make you feel like you're a failure for that. Like, be happy. There's so much to life. There's so much to life. To not do anything because you're scared. Start over, fail, succeed, do everything. Because this world was made for you. Yes, you.
Yes, you. I
There you
love
go.
you.
I can't hate that. I can't hate that. Wait, clip it,
You
clip it, clip
really
it.
ate
Clip it right now.
that.
Content. Wait, I need a tear. Thumbnail.
Thumbnail. Mark it. How many minutes?
Guys, oh my god. I'm so done. But, alright, well,
uh,
bye, guys. Alright,
guys,
bye.
guys, we're just so grateful that you joined us
Guys.
this year for this crazy idea we
Yeah.
had literally 4 months into the year. Like, thank you guys for listening, for believing with us, for commenting, for watching, for reposting the recaps, and literally telling us in person and DMing us, hey, I want to start a podcast because you guys have a podcast. Like, how do I do this? Like, we don't even know how we did this. We just looked it up on Google and did it. Like, what? Two girls in a dream? Two girls in a mic? Like, huh? Like, I love it. I love us, and I'm so grateful to God that we did this year. And I'm excited
Guys,
for season
I can't hear
2.
I can't hear anything. It's okay. Yeah, what Evie said. Because
You're
I heard the whole
good.
thing.
We're good. We're
Because she
here.
wasn't
We're
coming out.
here. There we go. We're back together now.
Yeah.
See, guys, it's just the whole thing.
Anyways. Oh, okay. Okay. They're trying to silence us. Guess what? We already said what we need to say, so. Boo-hoo.
Well, we love
Follow
you
us
guys
on
so much.
socials. We love y'all. Make sure to check out all the episodes of this season and wait for the season 2 announcement.
Yes,
Great.
we love you guys, and we'll
We
see you
love
soon.
y'all. See you soon.
Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.